Renaissance art has had an impact on how people think about Jesus Christ, showing him with European traits that are common in Western art. But historical proof paints a very different picture, and Elon Musk has brought it to the public's attention. In a recent live stream, Musk openly said that Jesus' physical appearance is more like that of the Afro-Semitic people who lived during his time. This claim has caused both interest and controversy around the world. People's long-held ideas about religion and race are called into question by this claim. How might reimagining such an important person change the way we think about religion and cultural history? As Musk's controversial comments echo across platforms and start debates that span religion, anthropology, and cultural critique, these questions become more important. Musk said on the live stream, "If you look at the historical context, it's plausible, maybe even probable, that Jesus wasn't the European figure often depicted in art." He pointed to Judea in the 1st century, pointing out how close it was to North Africa and the Middle East, both geographically and culturally. He said that the people who lived in Judea would have had a variety of traits, like the Afro-Semitic people who lived in the area at the time. Musk supported his claim with studies from the Roman era and information about old Jewish populations. He said that the idea of a pale, blue-eyed Jesus came from Europe. He said that this image came from Renaissance artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo, who made famous pictures of Christ that reflected the values of their rich European patrons. As these pictures of Jesus spread through art and media over hundreds of years, they became the standard way to show who Jesus was, putting cultural consensus ahead of historical accuracy. Musk's comments weren't just about fixing mistakes in history. They were also about exploring the deeper meanings of rethinking who Jesus really was. He asked an interesting question. What if most people accepted a Jesus who wasn't from Europe? This change could affect how people talk about racial identity, social hierarchies, and the roots of religious power. It could also encourage faith groups to be more open and honest with themselves. How people in the crowd responded to Musk's comments told us a lot. The room was usually very busy, but there was a strange quiet in it. This quiet moment wasn't just agreement, it was an understanding of how important what he said was, and thought that went against hundreds of years of established stories about religion and identity.
Allegedly include ancient manuscripts, genetic studies, and historical records that challenge centuries of traditional interpretations. Specifically, the revelations suggest that the ancient Israelites were far more ethnically diverse than typically portrayed, with significant representation rooted in African populations. The implications of this claim are profound. They not only provide new insights into the lineage and culture of the Israelites, but also challenge the Eurocentric frameworks that have dominated biblical scholarship for centuries. Although much of the information remains cloaked in mystery, leaked fragments paint a vivid picture of a narrative intertwining ancient traditions with modern technological advancements. These glimpses suggest the possibility of redefining biblical history in ways that demand fresh perspectives. At the center of this controversy are files said to contain groundbreaking insights, yet the exact nature of their contents remains elusive. What little has emerged hints at a bold and audacious narrative, one that positions African populations as central to key biblical events. Among the revelations are alleged genetic studies connecting ancient Israelites with African populations, particularly those residing in regions long overlooked by mainstream scholarship. This genetic data reportedly points to evidence of migration and intermingling between early Israelite communities and African peoples, suggesting that the histories of these groups may be far more intertwined than previously understood. Historical records within the files purportedly expand upon this narrative, offering accounts of Israelite movements into Africa following pivotal biblical events such as the Exodus and the Babylonian exile. If authenticated, These records not only corroborate the oral histories of certain African communities claiming descent from the Israelites, but also lend credence to long-dismissed narratives held by groups identifying as Black Israelites.